that's something.
Challenges in front of us. We can't make any promises, but if we don't know about it, we can't even try. So tell us what you've got and how we can support that.
That is a pithy intro, Councilwoman. Thank you so much, Chair Allen and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you today to talk about some of the successes we've seen as a department in the last year, challenges we've overcome, and of course answer any of your questions. I'm so pleased to be joined by George Rooker to my right, Angie Hubbard to my left, Bob Lehman to my further left, and then Rochelle Albright in the back of the room. So without this incredible team, it'd be very difficult to do the work that we do. And I want to start off by thanking the mayor's office and council members for your past support of this department's request to help us meet our mission. We couldn't do this work without you. I'm happy to report that the 7 positions added to the FY22 budget have been filled. And I'm also really grateful for your past support of our hardworking team through COLA and other adjustments. So thank you. I am incredibly proud by the way this department has continued to adapt during the unpredictable times during COVID and also the growth that our community is experiencing. They've shown a lot of strength and compassion, and we've been supported by teams, silent teams like ITS and the like, to help us do our work remotely as well as this body, so thank you. Some of our hallmarks from the last year include drafting new council and school board district maps. I know you are intimately aware of that work. This team, led by Greg Claxton, worked to bring an equitable and transparent approach to redistricting, and given how contentious redistricting is throughout our state and nation, I think that was a feat to try to work through those issues well. We provided a lot of virtual options and sifted through hundreds of comments and emails to bring forth the draft maps that you reviewed and approved, and I'm grateful to his efforts. He immediately moved on to the preparation of the CIB after the redistricting work, and so he's a busy analyst. During my tenure, I've worked to emphasize those assets that are unique to Nashville. And I think that when you have a city that is growing as quickly as ours is, it's really important to think about the resources that are recognizable to Nashvillians, be that the hillsides of Bellevue or Whites Creek, our river, our residential neighborhoods and community centers, our open space resources or historic resources, our music industry, Councilman Syracuse, or much more. What are the aspects that we really want to protect as we grow? What I hear at Planning Commission meetings twice a month is that residents want to make sure that we are protecting those assets. And that is really the great challenge and of our department and the balance that we try to seek, as I know you do as well. To accomplish this, we have re-energized the long-range and sector planning teams within the department. Part of that team's work will be the Nashville Next review that I know some council members have requested in favor, and so I'm grateful for Councilman Withers and Gamble for working through a process to ensure that the general plan is a living document and is something that you here have confidence in. Other projects are a larger and more area-specific scale. As all of you know, on Christmas Day in 2020, our city was rocked by bombing in our historic 2nd Avenue. Talk about resources that we really care about and are part of who we are. Our department did not plan to do a planning project on 1st and 2nd and Riverfront in 2021, but we did, and we made an enormous amount of progress with the support of Councilman O'Connell and many others in the mayor's office and elsewhere, volunteering their efforts to help us come up with a community-driven vision for how to recover, rebuild, and reimagine this important place in our community. And so through that work and through the support of the administration and this body, we have now moved towards more detailed design and implementation. And as I look back on the last year, it's hard to imagine that we were able to get to that place so quickly. So thank you for your support. Last year, we embarked on the Imagine East Bank study, which is some of the most constrained and complex land to reimagine, I think, in the country. I want to thank Councilman Parker and Withers for your help in creating a robust community engagement platform for us to work through the Community Advisory Committee, and to all of council for establishing a partnership with TDOT to accomplish our mobility goals. And we are working to put together a vision document that addresses the community's feedback so that we can guide the future on the East Bank. Other critical work last year has included projects in Wedgwood, Houston, and thanks to Councilman Sledge for working with us on that. And we are really looking forward to beginning our work in Hickory Hollow Mall area and the surrounding southeast. So I'm looking forward to better understanding the community's vision there and implementing that for your consideration in the future. We're also planning on doing work in Edge Hill, so I'm excited about that. We are striving to bring an interdisciplinary and data-driven approach to our work, and that requires us to be working at a higher level, a bit more outside of the policy space that has been more typical of the planning department's efforts, but that I think are very necessary for a community experiencing a lot of change. Councilwoman Toombs, you have a district that has some really important and big projects on the river, and I anticipate some area-wide work in those districts as well, and so I'm looking forward to that. We accomplished a conservation subdivision, which has been recently approved by this body. My goal is to ensure that the hillsides within our community are as protected as possible. I've heard from a lot of residents and council members concerns about the impact of subdivisions on natural resources. And so we worked for about a year to pull together ideas about how you both work within property rights, which we know are important to protect, but also to protect those assets. And so I was really excited to get support from the current and past planning chairs on that effort. We have new standards for design excellence in downtown buildings. There's a building that's getting tweeted about quite a bit right now for its appearance, and I want to reassure everyone that that was approved under a previous code, and I don't think it would be presented as such today, and that's why it's really important to have high quality design. Right there. So we've held more than 50 community meetings, 30 downtown code projects, and 19 community plan amendments throughout the county. So indeed, the planning work is not just filed somewhere, it's living, and has to continue to serve your work. The land development team, Lisa Milligan sits over here, most council members, and I think she knows all of you really well and values her work with you. I hope Lisa won't be mad at me for saying that, but I want you to know how hard the land development team works to ensure that you have the information that you need to make good decisions, and we're really committed to our relationship with council from that perspective. If you come down to our Metro offices, you will likely meet our two Development Services Center staff. 7,000 inquiries last year just at the front counter. So we do think customer service is a really important part of our mission, and we want to be a place where people can come and ask questions, because we know that land use and zoning, this body knows it and we know it, but it's not the most accessible kind of information that you might have. And so their work is incredibly important. Finally, last year, we planted the seeds for Metro's first ever housing division. So many of you have given us, thank you, yes, so many of you have given us thoughtful guidance, feedback, benchmarks that you expect for us to meet. All of that is incredibly helpful, because we don't want to just step out into an abyss. You've given us a framework of things that you want to accomplish. I'm thrilled to have Angie and her team in our department, and I'm so impressed with the work that they've achieved in 5 months. Angie has been focused on providing housing security for all, which is that team's rallying cry, and something that I think is important to accomplish. Their first area of focus includes implementing high priority recommendations from the Affordable Housing Task Force, and she's here to answer any questions you might have on that. So as we look to a new year and a new budget, we have a lot of exciting projects on the horizon, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work in service to you and to our community, and thank you for all of your hard work in these extraordinary times. Thank you.
Well, that's a lot. I read your list and thought that's an amazing thing to get done in a pandemic wind down. So great job. Thank you for that. Are there questions from the, yes, I see two, Councilmember Syracuse and then Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. Good to see you all.
Hello.
Let's talk transit-oriented development. I see that, we're making good progress as finally getting you staffed appropriately, and I'm thrilled that Angie has joined your team. Yesterday, ironically, we had MDHA and WeGo back-to-back. Something that I learned through my process of going through a potential transit-oriented development is the intersection between the two, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm just curious from a budget perspective, are you looking in the future, now that we've got Angie also, is there somebody on staff, or are you looking in the future for potential true transit-oriented development expertise when it comes to the department?
Thank you for asking that question. I'm happy to give my perspective and then see what Ms. Hubbard's view might be. I think transit-oriented development has enormous potential, and from a planning perspective, I think we will accomplish that by ensuring we're investing in our corridors and we're identifying areas where we would want housing and transit. I think the interesting question is, by what tool is the right tool to ensure that happens? And here we're working very closely with MDHA and our Economic Development Office to ensure that, we have the right economic tools in place. I don't have a single person here identified for that purpose, but I'm not sure that, I think as long as the practice is thriving and meeting the right standards, then we're in good position to do that work. Angie, what do you think?
So as we work to...
Oh, do I need to turn something?
Both of those mics should be working. Let me try one more.
The commission chambers are really mean. If you touch it, then it all goes away. So,
am I doing okay? Can you hear me? Okay, great.
Just bring it up close.
So as we look to build a comprehensive housing strategy, transit-oriented development offers a new tool for addressing our housing needs that we currently don't use. And that's super exciting, especially with our focus on neighborhood-appropriate housing solutions. That gives us an ability to drive density to the corridor where places that we want to see the density, as Director Kemp has mentioned. So to me, it's an exciting tool in the toolbox as we look to expand and tackle the housing issue from multiple angles.
Cool, thank you so much. From my perspective, as you all have heard me almost ad nauseum about this, in my experience, it was that there was not one person to kind of bring it together. I was the de facto kind of project manager, bringing private and public all together, right? So that was the crux of my question. So I appreciate it, and I would say let's think in the future, especially as we're identifying pockets of potential TOD. Does that substantiate in the future having maybe a dedicated staff person or whatnot to be that kind of project manager to help bring it all together? Because it's complicated, right? Multiple funding sources, multiple private and public partners and all that. So it took a lot of my time just to kind of try to pull it all together. So thank you for all you do. Appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you. Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. And I'll keep this quick. I'm not on the committee, but I appreciate every one of you. You're doing great things. On March 15th, we had a public hearing about the community's priorities, and with one or two exceptions, everybody who spoke during that 2-hour period spoke about affordable housing. So I'm thrilled that Assistant Director Hubbard, I don't know, that Angie is on board. And what I want to make sure is I'm looking at the document, the questionnaire that you provided us, and I'm looking specifically at the positions that say housing requests. So I don't know, do you have that document or do you know it by heart? If you know it by heart, that's fine. I just want to make sure that in looking at the budget, what was not funded specific to housing that would help beef up that division or that area to make sure that we can accomplish the goals that the community is looking for in regards to affordable housing.
So the department had a number of position requests. We included 4 in the housing section. 2 were not funded, and I believe they're shown here under number 3. And Angie, I don't know if you can speak to more detail as to what those positions were.
Thank you. As we're looking to respond as quickly as possible to our housing crisis, we propose to build that capacity so we are responsive and also being excellent stewards of the resources that were given. One was a more senior level role within our new division, and then another one was around helping us get at that grassroots level conversation with community engagement.
Great, and I hope that we are able to fund these positions. These will go in my wish list because I do have some affordable housing happening in the district that I want to make sure we have the capacity to meet the constituents' needs in that area. Looking at this, so it looks like the Planner 1, I want to make sure I got the numbers right because it's going on my wish list. Planner 1 housing, it looks like there's 98,700 that's still needed, that's outstanding, right? And then on the planning manager, that's the 142.3. Do I have that correct? Okay, so a total would be 241,000 for those two positions. And that would leave you two positions short from your original budget request. Is that right, Director Kemp?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Chair.
I believe that would fulfill their original budget request because they got two of the positions and you're asking for the other two.
Forgive me, did I misunderstand? Would you mind repeating the question so I make sure?
Yep, I think that Chair Allen got that right. So you requested 4, you were shorted 2 in the budget proposal to us. And so to fulfill those two positions, it would be $241,000, which George was shaking his head to my numbers, so.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Chair.
I have one question. You had, I'm so appreciative of everything the planning has done, and as I've said, when I looked over the list of things you accomplished in the past year, I was amazed. Like you said, there's so many things that just popped up out of totally unplanned for that y'all jumped into with just amazing just effectiveness. You're asking for an architect and an infrastructure professional at a fairly high level. Can you describe what those will add to the current process that we're not able to do now?
So one of the things, I'll start with the latter. One of the things I've been really trying to get my head wrapped around is how you take the planning process, which tends to be very interdisciplinary. It takes a lot of different resources together with a community vision, and how you create a more holistic strategy for implementation. And when I look at the way we were planning, like let's say 3, 4, 5 years ago, we would create a document. We might have a list of potential capital requests, but there wasn't really the kind of bridge that the implementing departments probably need to successfully move projects forward. And that concerned me because I felt like during the planning process, we were raising expectations from council members and from the leadership and the community that we were going to immediately get projects done. And the planning was sort of doing the work and then stepping back and moving elsewhere in the community. And so what I have found on North and South Dickerson, we did some work there, as well as the East Bank and in the Global Mall when we began that work, is that the planning department needs to stay a little bit longer in the moment and get a little more detailed design work that the departments can pick up and then move forward with. And so I think eventually we may need several of these kinds of positions to work in areas that are growing very quickly. You might ask, well, why don't we just put it at NDOT or put it at another department? The area where we need these the most are areas where we are doing city building on a large scale, where you have interrelated problems amongst mobility, parks, the built environment, traffic management. It really needs a more holistic approach. And so that's been the recommendation that I've given. And I think if the community weren't growing so quickly in certain neighborhoods, it might be something that the departments could more, absorb individually. But this is my effort to address what I see as a gap between planning and execution. On on the architect, did you have any follow-up questions on that before I go to the architect?
No, that's what I want to hear.
We have in our city, and I think it's an asset, a lot of form-based and design-based decisions. Our most popular zoning is a specific plan, which very often includes a lot of design standards. And then our entire downtown code is based on design-based standards. And so I think that having a very professional practice of evaluating those projects, which are often more than $100 million in investment, is important for the credibility of sort of the city and its decision-making, and also the planning department. So it's a new position. I think it's something that is important, again, especially when you think about a lot of the conversation that I hear in the community has to do with the design of density. And I'm not going to comment about tall and skinnies here. We may all have different views about it, but I think that part of the work we need to do around growth is assure folks that we're growing in a manner that's recognizable. And so much of what's recognizable is in the design and the execution. And so that is to have somebody who's able to advise me, able to advise you if you're interested, and available to advise the community on those kinds of issues. And it's something that a number of larger departments have, this kind of position in other cities.
Thank you. Chair Withers, do you have any questions? And are there other questions from other council members? You have been very thorough in providing your information. We appreciate it then.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all y'all have done over the years, but especially in the past couple, they've been challenging. So with that, social services, y'all win the prize for waiting the longest, and we are very grateful. If y'all will come on up and tell us about your budget, we'll